Siberius, and we about to get serious. It's the real Siberius, making fanboys furious.
Hello, YouTube, and welcome to The Real Siberius. On this episode, I want to talk about why context matters. Context tells the story, the whole story, not just the highlights or the lowlights. It lets you know how it happened, why it happened. I recently posted on my channel about LeBron having 23 turnovers in 5 games. A few different fanboys commented and said LeBron was the best player on the court in the series, mentioning he scored 111 points in those 5 games, which is 22 points per game, which even without context is pathetic in this soft, weak era. But even more sad when people call you the greatest of all time. In his most recent game where he scored 28 points, he shot 40% from the field, which again, in an era with infinite spacing and almost zero defense, even in the playoffs, is embarrassing. His performance in these playoffs is much like his career. It's a terrible lie that looks good on paper if you don't examine it at all. Just like his 10-point streak, on paper, it looks great until you understand they didn't include games he didn't play in. They didn't include the playoffs. They completely omit these details because when you add them, there really is no streak to speak of. It's the same with this all-time scoring record. It looks impressive without context, but when you do anything for 23 years, especially padding your stats late in games that have already been lost or won, those points add up quickly. They have also had to elevate the significance of the record. No one, and I mean absolutely no one, considered Kareem the GOAT for having the record. There were those that considered Kareem the GOAT. There always have been and always will be. And I'll never dispute them on that. I may not agree with it, but I don't object to it. But Kareem having the all-time scoring record had nothing to do with it. He was viewed as the GOAT for his play on the court, his championships, his MVPs, his winning. His longevity really didn't play a significant role in it. However, you can't build that case for LeBron. So you have to place whatever accolades he does have on a pedestal. And then you have to add playoff points so it appears more impressive than it actually is. It has remained a constant in his career. His finals MVP in 2016, his finals MVP in 2020. He wasn't responsible for either of those victories, but giving them those accolades helps maintain the narrative. You also have to elevate his competition into unstoppable giants instead of letting them be what they were. The Warriors have to become the greatest team ever, so it looks like his accomplishment was insurmountable. The lowering of the bar for greatness and the moving the goalpost to achieve it is unprecedented. I've never seen anything like it in over 4 decades of watching sports. They've had to create a narrative proclaiming that LeBron never had any help, when the reality is he's had more help than any other player ever. They've had to create the narrative that he did the most with the least, when again, the reality is he's done the absolute least with the most. They've had to change the perception about winning and its significance. They've brainwashed mouth breathers into honestly thinking making it to 10 finals and losing 6 is more impressive than going to 6 and winning 6. They've trained the simpletons that having the most playoff wins negates having the most playoff losses. It doesn't. They have to gloss over him leading the NBA all-time in turnovers like it didn't help lose many, many, many games. They have to say he's a pass first player to disguise that he also has the most missed shots all time. They've had to change the officiating of the game because he can't play within the game. They didn't change the rule book, they changed the officiating. Because if they didn't change the officiating, he wouldn't be able to play the game. He would be kicked out of the game in the first quarter. They've also had to weaponize his age. It is either amazing he's doing what he's doing at his age, or they also have the built-in excuse of, what do you expect? He's 41 years old. The crazy thing is he was too young until the day he became too old. No superstar in the history of sports has been as protected, defended, and worshipped for doing so little. Winning a chip barely 18% of your career isn't an accomplishment. It's an embarrassment, especially when the person you're constantly compared to won a chip 40% of their career. Context is like kryptonite. With even a modicum of scrutiny, the whole thing falls apart. The luster fades, the greatness disappears, and the only constant that remains is disappointment. Would've, could've, should've, but didn't. And didn't speaks volumes. Anyway, that's the end of the video. If you made it to the end, I certainly appreciate it. As always, I do want to give a shout out to the content creators that continue to inspire me to do this. Uncommon Sense, Angry Old Hoops, Self-Researched NBA Facts, 93Z, Sports and Fitness Rants, Uncut Hoops, Steam Engine, In Your Face Hoops, Eddie TV, King Speech Row, Goatcast Hoops, Geloso Nation, Ring Culture, The Basketball Show, Pineapple Midrange. I always appreciate your guys' takes, your perspectives, and your humor. And I'll catch you guys in the next one.